Now, in what can be seen as a big win for India's unrelenting diplomacy, the Biden administration has backed India's claims on 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks. The US administration has requested a California court to deny a plea by the Pakistani-origin businessman Tahawwur Rana, an accused in the 26/11 terror attacks in Mumbai. The President Joe Biden-led government reiterated that Rana must be extradited to India. This comes after a US court in May had approved the extradition of Rana to India, where he is wanted for his alleged role in the ghastly 26/11 terror attacks in Mumbai. The Pakistani-origin Canadian businessman had filed a writ of habeas corpus last month challenging the court order from May. In response, the US Attorney for the Central District of California, E. Martin Estrada, asserted that he was unable to demonstrate, and he being Tahawwur Rana, was unable to demonstrate that India's extradition request lacks sufficient evidence of probable cause. He further said that there was no evidence to support the petitioner's claim that his business in Mumbai was run legitimately and it might have been run as a cover for his childhood friend David Coleman Headley, one of the main conspirators of the 2008 Mumbai attacks. Rana is a crucial missing piece of the 26/11 jigsaw. According to the NIA, he was a crucial link between the Pakistani deep state and assets in India who may have knowingly or unknowingly ended up providing crucial details that allowed the ISI to plan and coordinate the 26/11 attacks. So therefore, that's a big development as far as Rana's extradition is concerned. Now, there are lots of details pertaining to his actual role when it came to plotting the 26/11 attacks, and this is also part of the documentary proof that the court has already gone into. He provided a blueprint of the 26/11 attack to the terror outfit, the Lashkar-e-Taiba, which eventually executed it. He helped David Coleman Headley open an immigration firm in Mumbai. David Coleman Headley was also allegedly a double agent who actually did reconnaissance of the targets that were eventually struck during 26/11 by the terrorists. Rana's Mumbai office had been used for terror activities as well. And Tahawwur Rana also knew of Headley's meetings, what had been discussed in those meetings as well. He also possessed direct knowledge of the Pakistani state's involvement in 26/11. Now, these are all details that have been chronicled in the NIA charge sheet. Now, while the United States backs India's claims, even the Congress here has urged the Prime Minister and the Ministry of External Affairs to expedite his extradition from the United States to India.
I'll urge that the Prime Minister or our MEA should take up at the level of President of America that he must be extradited. He knew about the incident of 26/11 and Headley has informed him and he is involved in it and he wants to get himself exonerated from this case, but there are sufficient evidences. The US agency has also found that he was involved in this terrorist activities which had happened on 26/11 at Mumbai. So he must be extradited.
Well, Madhav Das Gopalakrishnan, Times Now's national editor, joins us now. Madhav, this is a big development because in the joint declaration that was released at the conclusion of Prime Minister Modi's visit to the United States, clearly there was cooperation that was underlined between India and the United States in counter-terrorism and also bringing the perpetrators of the 26/11 attacks to justice. We're seeing a validation of that right now in the latest development in an American court where the US government has sought to deny any relief to Tahawwur Rana, who's filed his own plea on habeas corpus.
Well, absolutely. And Tahawwur Rana is someone who we know very well as being one of those who was aware of the actions of David Coleman Headley, someone who had conducted a recce ahead of the 26/11 dastardly strike in Mumbai, where over 200 Indians lost their lives. Now, of course, a very, very important aspect, because with Tahawwur Rana and his legal team, challenging the claim that has been made by India as far as the extradition of Tahawwur Rana to India is concerned. The US government, in fact, coming out and chiming in, saying that it should not be granted, the court should not grant relief to Tahawwur Rana, and that the extradition, which has initially been ordered by another court, should go ahead as was originally planned. This is certainly a big boost as far as India is concerned, because India has all along wanted from Pakistan to the United States to try and ensure that they get the perpetrators of 26/11. We remember that only one of the terrorists who was caught alive, Ajmal Kasab, has in fact been brought to justice here in India. He did receive a trial and then, of course, receive punishment as per the courts of law. Similarly, India wants that whether it is Tahawwur Rana or others who are accused, that they should all be brought to justice. And in this case, with the US coming out and the government itself opposing, the fact that Tahawwur Rana has sought further relief to deny the extradition to India, this certainly comes as a huge boost. What decision the court finally takes, of course, remains to be seen. We know that courts in the US, like in India, are independent, and they will, of course, peruse all the material that is before them before they arrive at a final judgment on this. But certainly, as far as India's claim is concerned, and diplomatically India's outreach is concerned, certainly somewhere or the other that does seem to have been successful. The United States, of course, has been cooperating with India on anti-terror and various such aspects for several years now, and clearly a sign of that once again coming in with this position being taken as far as the 26/11 probe accused is concerned, Tahawwur Rana. Back to you, Siddharth.
And Madhav, this is a very important development also in the context of the fact that Tahawwur Rana is an important cog in the entire wheel as far as the investigations into 26/11 is concerned, especially when Pakistan has been very uncooperative in our requests to expedite the investigation at their end. Tahawwur Rana is therefore important because he might shed more light on the involvement of the ISI and the Pakistani deep state in executing those attacks as well.
Well, dossier after dossier. Don't we remember what happened, Siddharth, right after 26/11? India repeatedly sent dossiers with a huge amount of information about the handlers, of the people responsible for 26/11. But despite that, what did we receive from Pakistan? A big fat zero. Nothing. None of their citizens were handed over. Pakistan, in fact, even denied that Ajmal Kasab was their citizen. That's the extent to which blinkered approach of Pakistan was exposed before the entire world. And clearly, of course, the fact that Pakistan wants to deny any kind of links of its deep state with such terror networks at some level or the other has been seen time and again. Now, it is not just the case of those individuals such as Hafiz Saeed, etc., who are very much part and established part of the terror networks, who have been running this terror machinery, but also several individuals within Pakistan's establishment who India has wanted. Now, the fact is that the Pakistan government has been going all out to protect such individuals and deny their access to India. In light of that, certainly, of course, a huge slap in the face of Pakistan, because this individual concerned as well, Tahawwur Rana, is a Pakistani-origin citizen.
Yes, he's a Pakistani-origin citizen who also happens to hold a Canadian passport. Madhav, the other important development in this entire matter, of course, has been the fact that David Coleman Headley, while having struck a plea bargain with American authorities, remains, of course, a vital part of the investigations on the Indian side. The NIA has already had an opportunity in the past to quiz him, and, of course, he shed a lot of light on his role as well in 26/11 and the collusion of the Pakistani ISI. So, in terms of the diplomatic negotiations that we've been having with the American authorities, there's been a lot of proactive involvement on our part in getting David Coleman Headley as well as Tahawwur Rana to be part of these investigations so that they can throw more light on the evidence at hand.
You're absolutely right. And in fact, access to any individual from a friendly country for purpose of investigation or interrogation is one aspect. Getting a person extradited from a particular country, now there come several levels of complications. The role of Tahawwur Rana and the role of David Coleman Headley perhaps cannot be compared because of the extent to which David Coleman Headley was involved with the entire terror infrastructure and the terror networks and the kind of activities that he has actively carried out on ground. So one will of course have to see what really the Indian diplomatic efforts are. First, in this case, of course, Tahawwur Rana, who perhaps is a step closer to extradition. However, what the courts eventually decide is something that we have to watch out for.
Right. Many thanks, Madhav, for that perspective. It'll be a very important development as and when the courts adjudicate in this particular matter.